Good morning, everybody. Let me tilt that a little bit this way. How's it going, everyone? Happy Saturday. Got some friends in the chat already. Good morning, all. Oh, I got my Perry What Do You Mean shirt on. I hung out with Perry as Spider-Man yesterday on Sam's Tangled Web. Got the girls awake this morning. Rocking and rolling. We got Flashpoint Comics. Good morning to you. We got Sharon, Life with Two YouTubers. Good to see you, Sharon. Ariel, how you doing? Good to see you. And we got Jennifer from Comics Will Break Your Heart. So bagel time, Charlie. She's still kind of waking up. Last minute switch to Wonder Woman. Wait, what? You're gonna switch to Wonder Woman? What is going on? That's not possible. That's not the Sharon that I know. Hope everyone's off to a nice weekend this weekend. Saturday morning. Girls and I got some comics to talk about. We got bagel and knitting. Yes, Charlie is a knitter as well. So Jennifer likes to knit. We also have been watching a couple of hot TV shows from yesteryears. So some of that might be coming up in our discussions. Mm-hmm. We got Backseat Driver. Good morning to you, sir. Good morning. Nice to see you. Sharon Crochets. Look at that. Captain Comics. Ahoy to you, sir. Good to see you. Hello. Yeah, the girls have now completely caught up and have finished watching Lost. So the entire 6 seasons of that show have been viewed, and they got all kinds of thoughts they can have on those. We've also begun letting Charlie watch Stranger Things, and Charlie has now seen 4 episodes, something like this. So she's just starting to get into that universe. So there'll be some fun things to discuss. Hello to Lady Fantastic Caroline. Look at all the awesome ladies in this chat today. Thank you, ladies, for coming by. Much appreciated. Not that I mean that's probably true. But nothing against the dudes in the chat. But it's nice having so many awesome ladies in the chat. I know that my girls appreciate it, even if they're focused on comics and bagels.
Mm-hmm. Gracias.
Do you want me to take your stuff? Okay, sorry. Kate is getting into the everything bagel seasoning plus the it's called Everything But the Bagel from Trader Joe's. Definitely a big fan. And the onion spread, right? The onion
and chive.
The onion and the chives spread. Oh, you need this still. Sorry, my bad. So you got some other people in the chat here. Ignacio, what is going on? Good morning to you. He wants to know what the girls thought about the final season of Lost. I'm definitely going to get into that. Watching the 7 Deadly Sins. I don't know that I've seen that. I'll have to keep an eye out for that one. All right. Did I miss anybody? Michael and Riley. I did miss Michael and Riley. What is going on? What is going on? Sharon says, Stranger Things is the spookiest. I think she meant spookiest. I think it was probably supposed to be a K. But it's funny because Kate usually does not like scary stuff, but she got over it when it came to Stranger Things. She was able to kind of get into it, and now she's obsessed with it. Mm-hmm. So my goal as a dad when it comes to Stranger Things is to be able to say, this is a reference to this book or that movie or this show, to point out.
He pauses it and he's like, say that is a reference to this movie, and then he just goes on a little rant.
I want them to kind of see how the Duffer
Brothers.
Yeah, the Duffer Brothers are pulling references from my childhood into their movie or into their series. So I kind of want them to know a little bit about a little bit about how the Nancy character might connect to Nightmare on Elm Street, or how the 11 story might connect to E.T. Those kind of things I think are kind of useful in understanding the larger context of that show. So I don't know, some of the 80s sci-fi horror stuff that they're referencing. Poltergeist is a huge influence on that first season. So Poltergeist, Goonies, they've seen Goonies, they know Goonies.
I didn't finish it.
That connects to Perry is here. What do you mean? What is going on, Perry? My Instagram race partner. Perry, I'm never going to catch Perry on YouTube. He can hold that over me forever because he's better at YouTube than me. Fact. But I'm going to try to make a go on Instagram. Try to see if I can catch him. My dad is here. What's going on? Pop in the chat. How you doing? I am a Martha Plimpton fan. She's pretty awesome. I have to agree with that. Oh, and he dropped Kate's favorite emoji with the creepy eye, lip eye combo. What's going on, everybody? So yeah, we've been enjoying a lot of like throwback television in the sense of stuff that's not hot right now, but maybe hot in years past
or in the future, because like season 4 is coming out soon.
Yeah, season four of Stranger Things should be dropping. They usually drop around Halloween. That's always kind of been their style. That in the fall. Was dropped in July 4th. I'm saying usually. I don't know why you need to like pick the one time October, it didn't happen.
December, and then July, I think. Maybe it's July, December, July.
Because the season 3 took place over the 4th of July weekend. It had more to do with that, so they moved that one. But I'm saying that it usually. Yeah, I put up some Fantastic Four books behind me because I don't have that many, and I was hanging out with Sam's Tangled Web and Perry yesterday, and it got me thinking about the FF and which storylines I kind of like. So yeah, this is my almost my entire Fantastic Four collection. That's pretty much it. Tacoma says it would be a cool idea to have your daughters review comics. I mean, right? Every once in a while. Teenager alert. Hey, we have one. She's on display. The teenager on display. FF 129. Ooh, look at Lady Fantastic. She knows her Fantastic Four books for sure. Well, I'll jump in and I'll share a book right off the bat because my read of the week was Marvel's Beta Ray Bill. I really have been enjoying this 5-issue miniseries from Daniel Warren Johnson. So if you have not read it, get that miniseries trade paperback when it comes out. It is finished. It is done. No more issues. Nothing else is coming down the pike. But if you haven't read it, you can go and snag these 5 issues. Totally worth the time and effort. I am not a huge Beta Ray Bill fan, but this series gave me a little more information about him, connected me emotionally kind of with where he is right now, and just told a really fun, exciting story. Great twists. So big fan of this Beta Ray Bill. And, hey, maybe one day we'll get him in the MCU. Could be kind of cool to have our Beta Ray Bill make to the MCU. The Rican in the chat. What is going on, Rod? He's got a show later today. Thank you for coming by, Rod. So, yeah, read of the week for me, Beta Ray Bill. Hope everybody else found good books they read this week. Mm-hmm. And my girls just want to read.
I don't know what.
You're going to eat your bagel and read? You're going to vibe? She's vibing. What about you, Charlie? You want to share that one? Not yet? I could do an indie book. How about I do Shadow Doctor? Whoa! This is Shadow Doctor, issue number 5, the finale in that storyline. So if you've been reading Aftershock Comics Shadow Doctor, this is a nonfiction comic book focusing on a young African-American doctor who could not get work in Chicago, could not work. The hospitals wouldn't allow him to work there. The black hospitals had recently closed, so there was really nowhere for this doctor to get employment. And he wanted to open his own medical office, but he didn't have the money. So he went and got a loan or made an arrangement with Al Capone, the gangster. And Shadow Doctor sort of follows the journey that he went on as, the doctor to Al Capone's mob and the war that Al Capone was having over territory in Chicago at the time. This is written, I think it's written by the grandson of the actual guy who went through this. And powerful idea. The first 4 issues, I think, were nearly perfect, just amazingly dramatic story. I didn't love the final issue. I just feel like it kind of ends. It doesn't really nail it. It doesn't stick the landing, as we can Summer Olympics it. But I do think it's just a powerful story, really well done. So I would give the entire series an A-. I'd give this issue a B-, but really an intriguing concept that is a little bit of history that I didn't know and really powerfully laid out. So yeah, Shadow Doctor from Aftershock Comics. Right? They got him on tax evasion instead of his actual crimes. And the FBI play into this a little bit, and what Elliot Ness was trying to do. So yeah, really a cool comic, a little under the radar, but the first 4 issues are some of the best books I've read this year. The 5th one, again, doesn't quite stick the landing for me, but the other 4 are so good. The series as a whole, I think, is just it's a special story. Really kind of an interesting look at a portion of history that might not get enough speaking about. People don't talk about it enough. I'm getting blinded by a little light on the floor there.
You are?
Like right there. Yeah. A little warm. I get a spotlight on the side of my Two-Face here.
Do you want me to cover it up with something?
It'll fade. It'll fade away. So any of you girls want to share a book that you're reading? Looks like I see Wonder Woman tied up, Charlie. She's always getting tied up, right? That's the ongoing joke with Wonder Woman.
She's always tied up.
A superhero with a lasso, always getting tied up. You want to share a book, Caters?
Sure.
You've talked about this series a few times, right? Mm-hmm. The Scarlet Rose from Charms Publishers by Patricia Lafone. So
I think it's Lifone, but I don't know.
Okay, Lifone. The Scarlet Rose is a series of graphic novels about a female pirate or piratess, right?
No, basically.
She's not a pirate there? That's not a pirate?
No.
What is it?
A bandit.
A bandit. Subtle difference.
So basically.
Oop, and we got another awesome lady in the chat. What's going on? Sheena, good morning to you. We got all the best people in this chat. And then the birthday boy shows up. Wah, wah. No, I'm just kidding. Bueller's here. Happy belated birthday. Yesterday was Bueller's birthday. What is going on, man? So what do you want to say about Scarlet Rose?
Okay. So basically, her name is Maud. Is that how you pronounce it?
Maud?
M-A-U-D.
Uh-huh.
Maud. And so she lives like I have to say commoner.
Okay.
That's what we are. But she lives like with normal people. And then her father dies and she finds out that her grandfather has to take custody of her.
Oh no.
She's still a minor.
Okay.
And her grandfather's like this count.
Okay. So a somewhat wealthy gentleman.
Yes.
Okay.
He has a castle and servants and stuff.
Okay.
And so basically there's this, they call it a brigand.
A brigand.
And
yes, is like a thief troublemaker.
He's called the Fox. He wears a mask.
Okay.
And it's kind of like a Phantom of the Opera mask almost.
Okay, it's like a half mask?
No, it's like a full face.
Oh, okay.
That's the only thing I could think of. Sorry. But
that's fine.
It's like a full gold mask with like eyes and there's no lips.
Interesting. Keep going.
And basically, like, it's so cool. So he like takes, so the fox he takes money from the more poor people, or
from the rich,
really rich people,
and gives to the poor.
He's like a Robin
Hood-esque. Yeah.
And she's like, I hate being this girl that I hate my grandfather, and so
there's the fox with his gold mask,
people, and just like him, and so she becomes a Scarlet Rose.
Nice. Oh, did BLC jump in here? What is going on, big lion cat? Meow. How you doing? So excitement with bandits, and does she feels an obligation to help the poor, even though now she's kind of in this rich house castle thing. Gotcha. But there's several of these, right? This is volume 1.
I think there's 6.
There's 6 of them? Okay.
Possibly, yeah.
Nice. And again, this is from Charms. The publisher is Charms with a Z. Wah, wah, wah. Anytime you can say meow, I mean, why not? Right? Meow. We're doing all right here, BLC. It's good to see you, sir. I was in, just in case you guys are unaware, Cardboard Crazies, which is a YouTube channel here. You can search Cardboard Crazies and find them. They're doing a 24-hour event to raise money for cancer treatment, awareness, and that kind of thing. And there's several ways you can participate. But if you go there, they started last night, and they went all through the night. They just started about an hour ago their second stream, and they're going all day today until late this evening. And they've raised over $2,000 already for cancer research. There's lots of ways you can donate. You can just straight donate. There's things for the Spider-Man. Like I went and bought 2 Spider-Man booth boxes. I'm not a big Spider-Man booth fan, but Spider-Man booth is matching funds, which means I buy the box. They give money to charity. Really, really cool. So Cardboard Crazies, I was in there. I was watching their show. They're auctioning off items. They're giving away items. They're keeping a running tally across the bottom of the screen to let you know. So just something to be aware of. Kind of cool. We got Ben Compton in the chat. What's going on, Ben? And my teacher, homie, what is going on? Kirk, Comics on the Mind. Good morning to you. So just something to be aware of. And I know that those people like BLC that run auctions often do these kind of things to support charities or people that need. So cancer research is happening, and money. They're hoping to raise $4,000 this week, this 24-hour period. So you could get a Spider-Man booth box, which you might want to buy anyways, and also at the same time support a charity. So kind of cool. So how many of these have you read? Because we've only got like 3, right? 4? We've got 4 of them? Mm-hmm. Okay. So there might be others that we need to check out at some point. Because I know you've really enjoyed this series. You've read it a few times. Scarlet Rose. That's what she goes by when she becomes a bandit, because here she is as a bandit, right? Troublemaker. Stealing from... So does she steal from her grandfather then? Is he the villain?
No.
Oh.
He is the villain, though.
He is the villain. Okay.
Well, he's a villain to her, but the main villain is her father's killer.
Well, sure.
Went to Paris
whoever did that
to find him.
Gotcha.
And there's a guy who looks exactly like him.
Her dad?
No, there's a guy who looks exactly like the murderer.
Interesting.
But he doesn't have a scar on his face because...
Curious.
When she found him killing her dad, she slashed him across the face with her sword because she does fencing. And so he should have a scar, but he doesn't have a scar on his face.
I agree, Lady F. I agree completely. And it looks like people are enjoying the Fantastic Four books behind me. I appreciate the shout outs. I don't have that many Fantastic Four books, but I will say I really love the ones that I got. So these are definitely the last remnants for me. Ariel sent a super chat. Thank you so much for the bagel fund. I appreciate it. Let's see what we got here for you. Let's do this one.
No, well, now they know. Let it go, let it go. Can't hold back anymore. The cold never bothered me anyway.
Can we do that one more time after? Because there's this part when after Charlie gets hit by my hand, but she just like runs into the closet. She's like,
Yeah, she's kind
I
of
totally didn't notice it.
she spins and falls right at the beginning, which is hilarious because
She
she's always
stands up
spinning and falling,
and
and then
shows
she
that.
darts off. Yeah,
Can we watch it again after, please?
we'll see.
Okay, thank you.
Mama called the doctor. The doctor said, no more monkeys jumping on the bed.
No more monkeys. No more monkeys jumping on the bed. All right, one more time for Kate.
No, well, now they know. Let it go, let it go. Can't hold back anymore. The cold never bothered me anyway.
Yeah,
She just walks.
Yeah, that happens in the actual movie Tacoma. They throwing elbows and knocking each other down as part of. It's really a part of that story in a big way. Let's see here. So, yeah, Charlie catches a good elbow right in the face. The wig whipping around. Charlie, you want to share that one a little bit? You ready yet?
No.
She's frozen. This is, if you missed the unboxing video that I did recently, this is one of the gift items we got from Hoarder's Hide. Scott sent us this book, and yeah, Charlie's way into it right now. What is up, Apex Comics? How's it going?
My tiny hairs, yeah.
That weren't you wearing the Rapunzel
I was.
wig that
So,
your mom made you?
Can I say it?
Go ahead.
So when I was younger, I got this like dress that looked like Rapunzel, but it was actually a Barbie dress, I think.
But it looked like the one that she wears in Tangled.
That Rapunzel wears. And
Mhm.
so I was like, I want to be here for Halloween. But of course, my hair was like shorter than this. It was like white and it was curly.
Right.
And I was like, my mom's like, I don't know what I can do with that. So she like braided yarn
Right.
and put flowers all in it.
Just like the long braid that Rapunzel has in Tangled, where the little town kids braid all her hair, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then she just like, it was like a headband I could put on, like a ribbon, and then I could tie it in the back, and then I could like have a braid.
Right.
It was so cool.
Yeah. Mom did a really, really
She made
awesome
2
job
of
with
them, I
that.
think.
She made 2 of them.
I still have them. They're in the
Working on a Saturday. I'm so sorry, Grandmaster. Sorry to hear that, man. And Ignacio she says, no more monkeys jumping on the bed. Yeah, she's doing Mama called the doctor, and the doctor said, no more monkeys jumping on the bed. You can see her trying to keep track of how many monkeys she's got left. She's like still holding up the fingers so she doesn't lose track of how many monkeys are still jumping on the bed.
I thought she was making Klingon.
No, she's
Klingon.
Yeah, not quite Klingon yet. Brother Joe, good morning. Taki616, good morning. Flash by night. Look at all these people rolling in here. Thank you all for coming by and hanging with us. Charlie is reading the Wonder Woman hardcover that Hoarder's Hide sent us that has all the original comic strips and comic appearances of the Wonder Woman Diana. So she's into it right now. She's in it. Not having it. Should I do another book? Should I do something? Let's see what I got here. Let's do a little X-Men roundup. How about a little X roundup? For those of you that aren't reading all the X-Men books, and I am, but those of you that aren't, there were 3 this week of import. We had the final issue of Cable. They wrapped up the storyline of young and old versions of the character Cable. I got my fingers in his mouth there. We had a continuation of some story arcs in Wolverine. This is issue 14. Sorry, 14. And then the best of the week was Sword, issue 7. Great book. So I'll give a little roundup on those after we say thank you to Simon R. dropping a $10 super chat. I appreciate it, you doing that, brother. Yeah, well, technically, sorry, where is it? technically, no, Cable is not going anymore. Cable is done.
That version.
Bearded saying, "Hey, friends, good to see you, Mr. Bearded Comic Bro." It hurts me more financially, less emotionally, but I get you. Ooh, he's reading Wolvie. There you go. Sword is so freaking good. But let me say thank you to our friend Simon R. by playing this one. Ready? Classic sound. And then let's see one more with the dog, maybe. All right. And then one more for you, Simon. Thanks for the super chat. Yes, that was definitely Young John. And Ariel knows it's the dolphin laugh. I don't know that I've read the original Sword run. I should probably take a look. I mean, I've read all of these 7 issues, and I've enjoyed all 7 of these. I've been really enjoying all that for sure. Stayed away from Hickman's X-Men since Hickman's issue number 9. Okay, I don't remember what happened in that one. Specifically, Beta Ray Bill was amazing. Yes, absolutely. The read of the week. Great book. Yeah, you got a lot of the sliding across the floor in the footy pajamas, right? Always a good time. So for those that are big fans of Dr. Doom, he has been a big part of the last 2 issues of Sword. There he is on the cover, kind of looming over everybody. But he's been having these sort of clandestine meetings with Storm, who is trying to convince him that now the X-Men are in charge of the solar system. She's the queen of Mars now that they've terraformed it, and I've just been loving it. So anything with Storm and Dr. Doom, I am all about it. I'm fully in, and I think Dr. Doom has been a wonderful sort of background character in Hickman's universe, whether it's that really fun Dodson FF and the X-Men storyline where Doom was all through that, or whether he is his part in Sword. It's been really cool. So that's the read of the X week. The final issue of Cable was pretty solid. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was solid. They wrapped up some things, set up Cable where I like older Cable personally. So I was happy to get older Cable back, and I'm ready to see where he plays into the current Krakoa world right now. And then Cable, yeah, he is the son of Jean and Scott.
Oh. I did not know.
I'm somewhat ashamed that my daughter doesn't know this. So I'll give you the short version of Cable. Jean and Scott have a child, and the child is having health issues, and they think the only way to save the child is to send him into the future where he will be cared for, and the medicines they have in the future will be able to save him. So they basically give up their kid, send him into the future. Then it was like, I don't know, 10 years later in comics or whatever, this guy Cable shows up and he starts leading the New Mutants, the younger group, and become X-Force. And then it's sort of revealed that he is their child back from the future. He's now older than they are.
That's so weird.
And he has lived a pretty hard life trying to protect mutants all through time. He can travel. You know, he has devices that allow him to travel. He's in Deadpool 2. He's he's kind of the bad guy in some ways, you could say, in that, because he's coming to kill a kid he thinks will become a problem in the future.
Like in Terminator.
Let's see here. Yep, old Southern Comic Geek, old Cable is back. There is a justice in the world. Love Dr. Doom, right? Hey, we got Cookie from Just a Little Podcast. What is going on, man?
We just hit our 30-minute mark.
We did. Let's see. Did I miss anybody else? X4 was so good. Can't wait for him. Fantastic to strike back. Hey, that would be really exciting. Ignacio says Bob Quinn from Way of X is working on Cable now. Ooh, interesting. Because I thought they were ending Cable. I didn't know that they were going to continue some new story with him. Interesting. Storm is Queen of Mars versus Deja Thoris, Queen of Mars. Marvel and Dynamite crossover. I mean, hey, I'm in. You can sign me up for that, Apex. Yeah, so Cable in the current storyline, the youngest version of Cable, like a 20-year-old kid, came back and killed the older version of Cable, stopped him, and then took over. But then later had to fix his own mistake. And, time travel creates a lot of like loops, troublesome loops. So now young and old Cable had to work together to solve this particular dilemma. And now young Cable agrees to go back into the future to grow a little bit, and old Cable stayed with us. Marvin the Martian in the Queen of Mars. There you go. And then lastly, the other X book this week was Wolverine. And I think they're kind of getting into some interesting stuff here, but this was a pretty slow issue of Wolverine. And the only thing that made it worth time was the artwork is really spectacular. So I'm enjoying the art style here. I don't know if it's Adam Kubert, Adam Kubert. I don't know how people want to say his name. I'm trying to find some of that. There was a splash page that I was like, what? Yeah. It's like, this is supposed to be Madripoor. Those of you Falcon and the Winter Soldier fans might recognize it. Right? I thought that came out so cool. Old school, like shipyard kind of style. I really do dig this art style that's going on here. Wolverine and Madripoor is always interesting. I don't necessarily care for the villain and the story arc for this little bit here, but I think they're setting up something a little bigger. I feel like comic books are way too much setup these days and not enough payoff. And that's just true of all publishers, all comics. And Wolverine is falling into that trap right now for me a little bit. As Cable is called Cable Reloaded. Okay, not particularly interested in that title. Yeah, not the best title I've heard. So there's your X-Men roundup. 3 books. I would say 1 home run, 1 solid single, and maybe a single stretched into a double. So a couple of hits. No strikeouts, no failures, no horrible mistakes. Marvin the Martian is the Queen of Mars. I would rather have Barbalian. Barbalian would be the great Queen of Mars. I'm down for that. Did you have any other books you wanted to discuss, Kato? I shouldn't call you Kato. I've never called you that before. Caters? Kato. Kiddo makes more sense, yeah. Charlie, did you want to share something? I have to share it for you? All right, wow. There you go. So this is Wonder Woman, the War Years, not warriors. War Years, 1941 and 1945. The original comics reprinted several of the comic strips, apparently, that they used to do for Wonder Woman. Awesome, cool stuff. Again, a gift from Hoarder's Hide. Scott sent these. So some of these are Sensation comics. Some of these are Wonder Woman comics, All-Star comics. Definitely a little bit of everything going on here. Old school, good Magic Lasso fun. I know Ryan would be a big fan. I mentioned Ryan a few times when going through this one. Some cool, unusual throwback golden age kind of art styles going on here. And Charlie's been reading this. Have you had a chance to look at these, Kate?
No.
Not yet?
Mm-mm.
Look, there he is fighting. There's Wonder Woman fighting Nazis. See her flying through the air to fight the Nazis.
Awesome.
beating up those bad guys. I think Steve Trevor comes into some of these, right?
That's it. Right.
Is that Steve? He's in basically all of them? Okay. Yeah, I think that's a Steve Trevor. There he is. There's Steve. Always walking along. Big Will is here. He's arrived. So Charlie in particular has been powering through this. You all know how fans of the show know that Charlie likes older comic books a ton. She is a golden age, silver age fiend. Her Biggie Shack banger box full of older comics. That's where her favorite stuff is. Kate likes a little bit of everything. Kate doesn't really have a preference for certain eras, but Charlie's all about that Archie, old school comic book kind of style for sure. And there he is, the G-Spot himself, Galvin. Robert Galvin, what is going on? Good to see you. Apex likes that golden age art and color. It's hard to go. I mean, it really is a very unique art style for sure. Good to see you, sir. And I know you would love that golden age stuff. She has a lot of people will tell you, and Bearded Comic Bro is in this group, that she has better taste than I do. So that's pretty much a guarantee. What is going on? Brandon from Comics Kings. Good to see you. So there you go. That's what Charlie's been reading. Kate just really wants to talk about Stranger Things, and I'm kind of trying to put her off because we've only watched 4 or 5 episodes. Yeah, there's Bearded saying, yeah, Charlie knows a ton about Dick Tracy. For not a lot of 10-year-olds know a bunch about Dick Tracy, but there's one in my house. What is up, Sean? Stay Puff. What are you doing, man? Good to see you. So there you go. Yeah, so I know you really want to talk Stranger Things. I kind of feel like we should do Lost first.
Yeah, I know.
So the girls have been watching for the very first time. Maybe, I don't know if they'll ever rewatch it, but for the very first time, they watched Lost. The television series, all 6 seasons, have now been finished. Tears were shed. If you follow my Instagram, I kind of spammed a ton of like feelings and thoughts afterwards, and kind of spent some time melting down after finishing reading it all.
4 people left when you mentioned Lost. They were just like, peace.
All of a sudden, it went. Yeah, we had 21, and then it was like 17. Big Will, yeah, she does love those old Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane, or Jimmy Olsen, Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, that kind of stuff, for sure. Lost and Stranger Things. Got my coffee. Let's go. There it is. See, first 2 seasons of Stranger Things were the best. Lost has a terrible payoff. Bad robot. Hey, Kirk, he loves the Lost. There you go. I agree. Lost is a very polarizing topic. People love or hate. Sorry, where is it? The fact that she wants to talk about Stranger Things and not about Lost speaks volumes. Good or bad, right? Good or bad. So what I would just love to hear your girls' thoughts on the show as in general, but also how it ended. So just to give you girls a context, as the show went on, I know not the last season, a lot of people stopped watching Lost as it went on.
Why?
For many different reasons. But the context of the show was somewhere in the 3rd season, a lot of people stopped watching Lost. It got too weird for them. They felt like there were too many strange things happening, not enough answers, too many questions to what was going on this crazy, wacky island. And as a result, fewer and fewer people watched it to the end. And I do know a lot of people that tried to watch the finale, hoping to get answers that they wanted for the show. But because they had skipped a couple of seasons or a season and a half, it felt very unsatisfying. Because I do feel like you can't skip episodes of Lost, right? You got to watch all of it or none of it is kind of my feeling.
You miss one, it feels like you've missed the whole season.
Yeah. And so I think the complaint was they didn't answer enough questions.
I never felt that way. I felt very differently about it. I feel like I got all the answers I could really want. And more than that, I got a very emotional journey. J.J. Abrams' best show was Alias. I mean, that's a great show. I never got to the end of that one. I never finished it.
Big Will. Oh my god.
Bearded says, I think most people I know dipped out during the writers' strike, which happened during season 4. And so season 3 is when they signed a deal, which was a revolutionary thing at the time. The writers signed a deal with a TV network that said, we're going to end the show at 6 years. We're going to do 6 seasons, this many episodes. And nobody had really ever done anything like that before, but they did it because they were feeling like, we don't want to stretch this out. We want to kind of have an end date. But no TV show had ever really done that, especially if you were on like a channel, like Channel 7 or whatever. They wanted your show to go on forever because they wanted to keep getting money out of it. But the creators kind of signed a deal and sort of got that end date. Please don't drink it with a spoon. It's really loud. I do think a lot of people jumped off the show during seasons 3 and 4 and tried to come back during season 6 and were very frustrated.
What's their fault?
I don't know. I mean, I can if they were disappointed enough to stop watching, then that's not their fault at all. And I do agree there were episodes that I don't love as much. But for me, rewatching it, this is probably the 4th or 5th time. The things I didn't like, I was less bothered by, and the stuff I loved even more. So for me, the whole thing got better every time I've watched it. My question for you was, how did you feel about the ending to the show?
Satisfied. Like, I was happy. I kind of predicted it, like, right before we started the finale. We were in the car, and it was really sad. I cried. So it was like a good emotional ending to me.
Okay.
And I liked seeing all the characters again, and like
all the ones who had maybe passed away, or because in that Sideways universe, everybody was there. Libby and Charlie and all the characters. Yeah. This is a Perry Comics shirt. Apex, this is my Perry Comics "What do you mean" shirt. So the first word you said was satisfied, which I'm impressed by, because I think that's a word that doesn't often get thrown around when it comes to Lost, is satisfied. But I certainly feel the same way.
The only thing I wasn't satisfied about, because I was thinking about this last night, they didn't really tell us what happened to Eloise.
Eloise Hawking is still alive and off of the island. She doesn't die.
Not the mom. The
Teresa.
Teresa.
It's Daniel's lab assistant
lady.
They basically explained as much as I think they wanted to, which is basically that one of his experiments in time, manipulation had left this girl unstuck in time, and she was a vegetable where she didn't know who she was or where she was or when she was. Right? She couldn't live her life. We do get to see her.
Yeah, but they
as an older lady being taken care of by the Widmore Foundation.
Too much.
I think they explained it for me enough that you see what happens to people getting unstuck in time, and you get a sense that his experiment might have gone wrong if he'd had the settings different. Remember, Desmond has to tell him what to set his machine to make it work for the mouse or the rat. Is it a rat? I don't know.
A rat.
The mouse.
So yeah, it's a bit of a challenge to, and I know that like that fits in nicely with how some people feel about the show, which is that it didn't give detailed enough answers to things. They wanted detailed answers to everything, and like the polar bear is a great example. A lot of upset fans were like, I wanted a detailed explanation about why were there polar bears on this island. And the polar bear is a classic example of them spreading little nuggets across 6 years of the show, but not necessarily putting them all together to make anything clear to the audience. And And I understood it, I thought, well enough. But every time I've watched the show, I feel like I understand the polar bear thing better, and I get it. But I know that a ton of fans bring the polar bear up a bunch.
Like Apex wanted to see
I
that
want-
giant polar bear.
But there's a giant polar bear. What is Gamora? What is Gamora? Right, Joel the Geek? What is Gamora? I'll do you one better. What is
It's like,
Gamora?
where's Gamora? I'll do you one better. Who is Gamora? I'll do you one better. What is Gamora?
Right. I have that comic book, Greg. I have it in English. I don't have the Spanish version, but I have the Green Lantern Flash comic book that Hurley brings on the airplane that
you
Walt is
get
always
it
reading.
After you watched the show, or did you have it before? Dad?
The polar bear is very off-putting and shocking, and it continues to get more so, even when they're in the polar bear cages in season 3, or even when you find the polar bear's body in season 4 out in the desert. All these things of like polar bear related, right?
Charlie.
Not you.
Because there's like 3.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Because of Charlotte. But
Did you have the comic book before or after you watched the show?
Oh, way after. I got that way after. See, I love this part right where here, how it makes sense to them, the watcher, right? It's how does it make sense to the person watching? And I could easily see the polar bear thing being frustrating, but for me, like I was always putting those little nuggets together and I could make something out of it. Now let's get to you, Charlie. What did you think of the ending of the show?
I liked it. I liked how you find out that they are all dead. That's it could be heaven for them.
The sideways storyline in the
Yeah.
final season.
I thought at first that maybe what Jack did with the bomb did work,
Uh-huh.
and that maybe it did save them, but just not for that timeline. Maybe for a different timeline.
Right.
But then later on, Kate and I were in the car, and then we all started talking about it, and then we kind of pieced together that maybe they're all dead.
And that was an ongoing comment as well. But let me jump into this. There was some things here. Ignacio saying he likes the unsolved mysteries. And I do think there is something to be said for that. Like the fact that you don't need everything explained, right? This is hilarious that the polar bears were on their own plane to LA to negotiate their contracts with Coca-Cola. Very funny. Apex, I will try to post it on Instagram today if I can remember. But it was like a 2-issue miniseries, Flash and Green Lantern. Just a memory there. So a lot of people, you were saying the are they dead? A lot of people felt like all the way along those characters were dead and that they were living. The island was like between heaven and hell was the island, and that they were living as souls suffering for the things they did in real life. And the writers had to constantly explain to people that that's not true, that they are not dead, that this is all real. It's all happening. What happened, right?
Yeah.
Then in season 6, they kind of flipped the script on the audience by actually showing them the space between heaven and hell and showing them the afterlife of our characters. And I know a lot of fans were really confused by that as well. They're like, oh, wait, maybe they were dead all along. It's like, no. They're alive. They're alive.
Who
So,
would win, Sawyer or Mr.
I know
Echo?
that was a frustration for some fans as well.
Echo.
Who would win, Sawyer or Mr. Echo without his stick? No Jesus stick.
Well, maybe it might be Sawyer because Sawyer always carries a gun.
But no, if he doesn't get his stick, then Sawyer shouldn't get a gun. It's just a
Yeah.
fist-to-fist combat. I would say Echo is pretty big. He's got the muscle.
So does
I don't
Sawyer.
know, man. I'm gonna probably put my money on Echo.
No, Echo wouldn't want to fight because he'd be like,
I don't know.
Peace, brother.
You keep sitting like that, you pull the mattresses out. You sitting in an uncomfortable way, hurting your back. All right. So what about this? Can you? I know we binged it. Is it possible for you to separate out your favorite seasons, or does it all just become one big thing?
Mm-hmm.
Are you able to say, "Oh, I liked this season," or "I like that season"? Are you able to separate it at all? Like, do you remember what happened in
didn't really
season
like
4
season
or 5?
3.
Okay.
Season 3 was the one where it was like, season 4 was like time traveling and stuff.
No.
No.
Season
So it's
3
it's
was
blending.
time traveling.
No. So it's blending. And I understand that because you binged it. You didn't watch it like the rest of us. So season 1 was
Wait, which
just
one's
them
the
surviving.
Freighter
Season two was the Hatch, living and working in the
Got
Hatch.
it.
Season 3 was the others and the polar bear cages and Michael and trying to save Walt.
Uh-huh.
Season 4 was the freighter people coming to the island
Freighter folk.
and trying to
5
get people off.
is
Season 5
5
is
is
time
time
traveling,
travel.
and season 6
6
is the
is the
final
final
season with
season.
the sideways
Sideways.
stuff. What is going on?
It's Chad. 90 miles from comics. What's going on? 90.
That's so 90.
So yeah, I separate them out because that's how I watched them. But I can understand if you're like, I can't remember certain seasons. I know that season 3 was pretty frustrating for some people because like they didn't like the others, they didn't like any of that
I
stuff.
just didn't like
Not
it.
supposed to.
A lot of people love season 1 the best. I know that was the one that was most watched and most obsessed about.
I just don't like the Charlie dies.
That would be season 4.
Yeah, I know. But I still think season 3.
I'm obsessed with season 5. I love the time travel stuff when the
It
island is
is.
skipping around, when they're
Yeah.
stuck in the different eras, and then they land in the 70s in the Dharma world. I love all of that. I love Richard Alpert. I think he's a great character coming in and
It
out.
would have been really funny and cool if like they're in Dharma and they have to report to like the head of security, and the head of security is Richard Alpert.
No, the head of security was Jim LaFleur.
Jim LaFleur.
What is up, Terry Vaughn? How you doing? It's a complicated show for sure. Do you all think they were all dead and in purgatory from the beginning? No, they were not dead and in purgatory. I'm flat telling you, they were not dead all along. They were alive, and what they lived through is legit. You get to see what the afterlife would look like in season 6. That's that whole off the island sideways story stuff. But everything on the island and everything we really see in the show is legit, and that's what they went through.
McFarlane toys.
There are some McFarlane toys, and I have a lost statue right. There's tiny little polar bears right there. And then John
John
Locke
Locke,
is right
yeah.
there above my finger. He's standing on the hatch. John Locke is right there.
Can I take him down?
No, I don't want him to fall and hurt himself. But I do have a John Locke statue. And I believe it's one of the McFarlane toy ones. So that's the only one I've got. I've got Locke. That's the one I got. I knew you would be digging the Fantastic Four display, my brother. 7th season as a musical. Hilarious. Okay, last few questions. Favorite characters. If you could only pick 3 favorite characters,
Kate already
3,
knows
who
hers.
would they be? Charlie, you want to do yours?
No.
I gotta figure out my last one.
Okay, Kate picks are
Jin,
Jin,
Saeed,
Saeed.
and there's another one.
Jin and Saeed.
I love.
Oh, shh. You keep your picks. You better be ready with yours.
I didn't really like Sawyer in the last 3 seasons.
That's because you didn't like Juliet.
Yeah.
Jin, Saeed, and
Wait, who's some other characters?
oh my god, you can't remember characters' names?
No,
Lord.
Juliet, Libby, and Lucia.
no, like main
Hurley.
characters, not like
Google.
Libby.
Google. Jack.
So did
Kate.
you name 3? Your 3 yet? Who are your 3? Come on. Come on, quick. I'm going to give Kate 10 seconds. 10.
Jin, Saeed, and Ben.
Jen, Saeed, and Ben.
Actually, I would have to replace it with Richard because I really
Richard.
like
Jen, Saeed, and Richard.
You said Jen.
Jin, Saeed, and
Jin,
Richard.
Saeed, and Richard. Good picks. Good picks. All
And
right,
my
Charlie.
first one will forever be Hurley.
Hurley.
Google.
Ugo.
Google.
Looks like Bearded agrees with you on that one. Anybody else?
Hurley, I don't know. I mean, I really liked Ben. I felt
Ben?
really bad for him because he said no one will have him, and he felt really sad.
Yeah, he said, because you were special, John, and I'm not.
Yeah, he needed a hug.
That's a harsh reality, right? Hurley, Ben, and Jack. All right, so everybody picking Ben. 3 Ben picks.
I
You
replaced
2
it,
and Bearded all picked Ben.
but Ben's playing my 4th.
That's pretty awesome. And then you need one more, Char.
I'd pick Jack, but I'm trying to stay away from like the main three.
Okay.
You know? So then the other people, I have two. Well, technically four, but I'm counting them as couples, so they count as two. It would either be Desmond and Penny, their family, and Sun and Jin.
Nice.
I really like them.
Desmond
And
is
Charlie.
Desmond is always high on my list.
What's the
so
MIB?
I'm a big Desmond fan.
Man in Black.
The Man in Black. You see it? Taki picked the Man in Black. Wow, Ben has held up over the years, right? Ben is popular over the years. The polar bear, says Apex. I mean, hey, right?
Fair choice.
Oh no, I forgot Vincent. I'm so sorry.
The dog, Vincent.
And Rose and Bernard.
No one even picked. No one even. Kate
Not even
picked
Kate
Jack,
picked
right? Kate
Jack.
picked. Not even Kate picked Jack. There you go.
Oh.
Echo and Locke and Charlie. So I would probably pick
I
Locke
love Locke, yeah.
and
Locke.
Desmond. And my third pick would probably be Richard Alpert, but that's a tricky one. Or Sawyer. I'm a big Sawyer fan. I like Sawyer top to bottom. Would it be named her? It would depend if it was a boy or a girl.
If it was a boy, what would you name it?
Well, I would probably have to convince my wife because she's involved in the decision making and those kind of things as well.
But what would you if you didn't have to convince
If
me?
I didn't have to convince her, I might pick Sawyer as a middle name, but not as a first name. James. What if it was
Kylie.
James LaFleur? James Jameson? Jim Jameson.
James LaFleur.
Jim Jameson.
Jim James.
Sawyer is from Tennessee. There you go.
I would be oh, now I'm changing my middle name to Charlotte Sawyer Jameson.
There you go. All right, we are done with Lost.
They
Let's
date
move
each other.
on.
Getting off the screen.
Stranger Things.
God.
So
Sorry.
Charlie's finally watching Stranger Things for the first time. Kate is a major Stranger Things obsessive. If you think I'm obsessed about Lost, she's just as obsessed about Stranger Things. And it's been a while since I've watched it. So we've gone back to season 1. We are now about 5 episodes in on season 1.
Don't spoil anything.
We're not going to totally spoil it at all,
Says the lady.
but we are going to spoil it at all because it's season 1 and people should have watched that by now.
Them. Don't.
Don't try not to mention any season 2 deaths or whatever, because we're obviously just the
I
beginning for
probably
Charlie.
already know all
My
this.
my comment to Charlie is, what do you think so far? Now that you're finally watching it, what do you think?
I think it's interesting. Like, I like the commentary and the dialogues. They can be very entertaining, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely feel like there's a lot of lying, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like that between the
Oh,
friends.
the-
I don't like that.
Yeah. Okay. The 4 boys.
Yeah, and Elle, like they're all kind of, I don't like the mean names they're getting putting around because you have like, what's his name, like Troy and I forget the other guy.
The 2 bullies.
Yeah, like that always call the 4 boys like weirdos, and then Lucas is doing the same thing to Elle and just calling her a weirdo,
Right.
and then Dustin's kind of like, I don't know what to say, and Mike's already
It's a werewolf.
obviously in love with her, so he's not gonna do anything mean.
Are there any moments that were scary for you? Anything that was like, oh wow. Anything that shocked you, excited? Because I know my worry was you girls would be scared of this show. But in both cases, you guys are like, no, it's not that scary.
It's not like I'll say it's scary, but it's not like I'm gonna have nightmares.
Okay.
Like there definitely have been a few scenes where I'm like, oh, and it scared me for like a few minutes,
Right.
and then it just kind of goes away. Like when Nancy's going in, and then the monster just turns around, and you get to see like the full.
When
thing
she's
of it.
climbed into the because we just saw her
Yeah.
getting lost in the Upside Down, right?
Yeah.
The episode we just watched, Nancy's looking for Barb and finds the hole in the tree and kind of goes in.
She's very stupid.
And now she's walked away from the tree she went through, so she's not quite sure how to get out again. She didn't tell Jonathan, right, that she went in, so he doesn't know where she is. He just finds her backpack, and
runs
she
away.
sees the monster, which has dragged the deer as a dinner or whatever into the Upside Down world, right? So that moment when you see the
That was a little
Demogorgon
scary.
look at her.
Yeah, and then the first time you see the Demogorgon when like Will's riding his bike and it's just there.
It's like the shadow. Really quickly.
Okay. So
Like it was just there and it was so tall. Like,
Okay.
I'm not thinking it was gonna be that tall.
I loved the moment when Mom has like all the lights scattered around her house. Winona Ryder's got everything, and she's communicating with the letters on the
Yeah,
wall,
that's cool.
and all of a sudden it says RUN, like run, and the lights start going off, and then the wall starts moving because the Demogorgon's trying to break into their
I already
house.
saw that part. It's so good.
So good. What a great moment.
Oh.
And a fun update to Poltergeist and the way Poltergeist did things with communicating to the little girl stuck in the TV in their house. There's some fun throwbacks to Poltergeist that as a kid, that resonates with me on my geek, levels. So I really love that storyline with Winona Ryder. I know that like some people in the chat are saying that basically Winona Ryder just spends the whole time saying, Will. But I just love the visuals of the Christmas lights strung all through the house. Really cool. Really interesting.
Insane too. But she's not.
So then let's get to you. How do you feel about these early episodes? I know you say you like the latest season the best. How are you feeling about season 1?
Season 2 the best.
Oh, okay.
She doesn't like season 3.
3 is really good. I do like season 3. I don't like season 1 that much.
So then how are you feeling about watching season 1?
I want to get it over with.
Just rip the Band-Aid off?
Because Will isn't really in it that much.
And Will is your favorite character?
Yes.
And the actor is hunky?
No.
Spicy?
No.
Salty?
Oh, you
So
have no
fresh?
idea.
No. Oh my god. He's so tiny in the first and second seasons, and the second one focuses more on Will
Right.
and Mike, which is like better.
You just spoiled season 3, Kate. Go ahead.
Good.
No,
Just tell me that Will is alive.
Big Will says, does it make you want to play D&D?
Yes.
Yeah.
It does make you want to play D&D?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right. I think you've matured a little bit since the last time I tried to play D&D with you. Because at that time you were like, I don't want to kill anything. I don't want to hurt any characters. I don't want to fight that orc. I don't want to kill that goblin.
I was?
Yeah, you both were like not wanting to battle. And I was
You
like,
play D&D?
D&D is, I tried to teach you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know.
I'll try better next time.
All right. Did you have any favorite parts in this beginning of season 1, Kate? Any bits that you were like, oh, that was really cool. I like how they did this.
I missed the part because I was at Nicole's house, but the part when like Will's talking to her through the wall,
Right.
and he's like, you can see his hands and like the light outline of him.
Bends. The wall bends.
Or like when he's just like talking to his mom, he's like, "Mom, help me," and then like
It's like
she puts her hand against his kind of, and
Right.
I love that scene just because it's so awesome.
Nice.
And then like Will runs away. It's so cool. But yeah, it was really cool.
So it says, I met the stars at Dragon Con. So Big Will might have met some of the kids at Dragon Con. I wonder which ones he met.
Which
All
ones
the
did you
kids?
meet?
The little kids, I'm assuming. Another role-playing game. If you feel like one role-playing game is not for you, there's definitely other ones. I loved was it GURPS, Generic Universal Role-Play Systems. As a kid, I played GURPS a lot. I like that one. I'll try to kill an evil orc next time, Daddy. Okay. Good for you. But you could be the evil orc if you wanted. You could play as your character can be evil and an orc. Those things can happen. It's fair. So are you excited to finish season 1 then? Because we're about halfway done with season 1 already.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're a little over it, actually.
Are you feeling over it?
No, I mean like
Me?
over the halfway point.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, we are
episode
over the halfway point. Yeah, I think we're just over because I think it's 8 episodes in season 1, 7 in season 2, 8 in season 3. So, we're working our way through for sure. I don't watch the show. Which one had the
Dustin?
That's
Dustin.
Gayton. Sorry.
I mean,
Gayton.
Gayton is the actor. Dustin is the character, Big Will. You can start it with Munchkin. Oh, you could be a Munchkin, like a little. It could be something
Really?
tiny.
Oh, that sounds so cute.
Yeah, you could be adorable and deadly,
I could be a quick
as you really are in life.
Can you paladin?
So, Kate, you said your favorite character is Will. Second favorite character is
Probably Mike.
Mike. Third,
Lucas.
Lucas.
I
Charlie,
love Lucas.
Dustin.
Dustin,
Lucas.
Lucas.
Will.
Can you guys pick the weird? How? I mean, I'm picking Elle and Hopper as my
and-
number 1 and
you
2.
mean
Like
besides kids?
all of the characters.
Oh, then I would choose other people.
Elle and Hopper are
I have
my
other
1
people.
and 2. Nobody's even close to Elle and Hopper for me.
I
on
have
this
2 other
show.
people then. I thought you meant
Go.
just the kids. I like Hopper, I like Joyce, and I like Dustin, Elle, and
Okay, you're listing everybody now.
Lucas. That's
Okay, can I
5.
list people?
My third would probably be Steve because I think
Oh,
Steve is phenomenal.
Oh, I love
So I would go Elle, Hopper, and Steve in that order as
Steve?
my favorite
Um,
3 Stranger
I-
Things
wait.
characters. Hold on, wait. We got to say hello to Sam.
Steve?
Our good friend Sam's Tangled Web. If you missed it yesterday, I was hanging with Sam and Perry. It was a fun time. And if you missed out on it, you should definitely check it out.
Can I s-
Steve's a douche in the first
I met
season.
him, got an autograph for a
Got an
friend.
autograph. There you
He
go.
was nice and also weirded out by some of the little girls swooning.
Little girls were swooning. I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be weird, right? Sorry. So you wanted to change your 3? Go.
No, I don't want to change my 3.
Oh.
But one of my favorites is a season 2 character. Charlie knows who he is.
So yeah, that's not fair, right? I guess some characters could come in later that you
I
would
like
add to the list. That makes
Mariah.
sense. Okay.
Charlie knows who he is.
Oh, yeah, he's cool.
He's so funny. Like he just has like perfect lines.
Nice.
And I love Mariah. He's so funny. So those are
Yep.
probably my favorites.
I agree. Yes, Sheriff Hopper, that actor, is in Red Guardian in the Black Widow movie. Yep,
But
Join the Marvel
I
universe.
love
he
11.
did join the Marvel universe.
I love 11, but
Yes.
she's not one of my favorites.
I like Elle's character a lot. I like her
I
story.
like her
She's
too.
obviously
She's
like
so
the
good.
she's obviously like the centerpiece of the
Show.
show because everything sort of spins
So
around
nice.
her, whatever she went through in that lab and whatever her abilities are and how she's connected to the Upside Down and everything.
Yeah.
so she is kind of pivotal to the
I
plot.
love 11. But she's not one of my favorites.
I also am kind of, I liked her with the short hair. I liked her with the buzz hair. So I'm kind of like, every time later on when she has like a normal hair, I'm always like,
I liked her
she
curly
looks so
hair in
cute with the,
season
like,
2. She looks
little-
so
little
cute.
buzz.
She does, right? She's so tiny.
Yeah.
And then with their little bowl cuts, like
She's still tiny, just so you know, by my eyes, she stayed tiny. She's still tiny. You're still tiny by my eyes.
I'm still.
I'm
Mini.
still tiny.
I already know.
All right. So then did you need to change your 3 characters or are we good?
We good.
We good.
We good, bro.
I think we need to get on with our day though.
And watch more Stranger
We
Things.
have more
Let's go.
Stranger Things that need to be watching. I'm not on any more shows today, but I'm on Big Will's channel playing Dungeons and Dragons tomorrow night. So make sure you're subscribed to the Big Will Comics channel because that's where I'm going to be tomorrow night. Monday is when I'm back on my channel again for Comic Gory's Olympics. We're having 4 awesome contenders in the short box sprint, where they're only allowed to play Comic Gories with a single short box of comics that they have cultivated for themselves. Some exciting community members competing for another gold medal. So if you're a Comic Gories fan, make sure you're there Monday night for the 3rd event in our Comic Gories Summer Olympics. But then I'm really not on a whole ton of YouTube after that. I have no Tuesday, no Wednesday, but I believe there's a Fables reading on JP Budget Collecting next week on Thursday, I think. So just something to keep an eye out for next week. My channel time is limited because I'm getting back to work a little bit. So I'm a little bit limited on what I can do, but I will try my best to continue to do more just sort of beyond Comic Gories and the Saturday show. Those are definitely going to keep happening over the next few weeks, but other things might pop in here or there just to kind of get a sense. He just looked up Will, met him too. So he met the kid that plays Will as well.
he met Noah.
That's nice. Yes, Lasso was a gold medalist. So is Unruly Simeon. We have 2 community gold medalists, the first 2 ever. But by the end of August, we're going to have 4 total, and you've got to be there to decide who those champs are, because you in the chat that come and watch the show get to be the judges, right? You're the East German judges, the West German judges, all the German judges combined. So we appreciate all of you who come by. Huge thank you to the super chats we got today, because that really just is an incredibly kind thing that you're doing. I want to one more time mention what's going on Cardboard Crazy's YouTube channel. And if you go to my community tab on my channel, I have highlighted their live streams. They're only going for another like 10 hours today, but they've gone for a total of 24 hours raising money for cancer research. They're selling things. They're giving things away. They have special codes for buying Spider-Man booth boxes and raising money for cancer research. So if you go over to Cardboard Crazies, I'm going to be in and out of that chat all day, supporting those amazing guys. I might even jump on the panel if they need somebody to carry the load for a little bit. But they're going to be selling books where the money goes to cancer research. They're going to be giving away things for the chat. And they've got discount codes. So that I bought 2 Spider-Man booth boxes. Not a big fan of the Spider-Man booth, but they are doing something awesome where if you buy a box, Spider-Man booth will donate basically double the money to go to the charity. So your contribution basically gives a box that goes to you full of comics and money to an awesome charity. So really, really cool stuff going on over there. So Cardboard Crazies is the YouTube channel. And I will be over there in the chat today.
Is that it, Charlie? Are we good?
Yeah. Also, be sure to check out Bearded Comic Rose. Bearded Comic Rose. Name that character.
It was a good one. Really good one.
Episode.
Yeah, absolutely. One more super chat. Let's finish out by saying thank you to Joel the Geek for some bagel money here for us.
And before we play video, make sure you find some time to curl up, grab a book, and nerd out. Peace.
All right, well, let's play some things for you, Joel the Geek. Thanks, brother.
Stay classic, comic community.
Sassy Massy. Oh, and Werewolf by Lunchtime too. Oh my gosh. Let me throw up another one for you, Werewolf, my man.
We got this city on rockin'. Meow.
And one last one. And thanks everybody for coming. Have a great weekend.